Hey there, everybody. This is Matthew Smart here, and this is probably the most important update video I think I will ever make on this channel because this is something I've been thinking about a little bit for the past month or two, and what I'm about to talk about today is going to change the course of this channel permanently. So I would appreciate you sticking around for this entire thing. Though, if you're short for time, I will leave a TLDR of all this in the description. So you've probably noticed by now that I've been uploading on this channel a lot more frequently than I usually do. Because in 2019, I only posted about 5 videos on this channel, and now we're like nearing 20 this year. Originally, it was because I really wanted to do that Animal Crossing New Horizons series, which I've still had a ton of fun doing despite the low view count. But I think I've learned something pretty important when it came to making that series, and it was something that I remember doing a long time ago that sort of became lost around 2015. So I'm going to try my best to explain everything that I can about this entire situation, why I'm uploading more often, why I will continue to upload more often, as well as the real reason why I sort of fell off the map for 5 years in a row. So ever since 2015, I talked about the idea of me wanting to reboot this channel, and over the many years ahead, I would talk about how I'm not ready to do this big reboot yet until I'm in a position where I can truly be able to make content that I'm really happy with without ever properly explaining what that sort of content is. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted to wait for the day when I was finally able to take that new path and release a huge update video about the same day I would launch the first episode of this whole reboot. And I never really explained this in a public setting before, but considering it's been 5 years and considering this may not be the right path for me anymore, it's finally time for me to be as transparent as possible about all this. So back in late 2012, 2013, 2014, I was really obsessed with video game reviewers on YouTube. Groups like Normal Boots and Hidden Block were some of my biggest inspirations at the time. And I really wanted to make content like that because I thought it would be really cool to just talk about my favorite games while also being like really funny, throwing in the sort of comedic gags, and make a whole little review show out of that. Maybe even a little story and everything. And there's a little bit of a part of me that still wants to do that. But here's the thing. I wanted this review show to be the main thing on my channel for 5 years now. And the reason that I never took that path was because of the fact that I didn't really have much in terms of equipment or a good set to make it look nice and clean and professional enough. Especially like this backdrop right here. My dad's house. My dad's house is flooded with his knickknacks. So is this room. This definitely wouldn't really be a good backdrop for a show that was supposed to represent, well, me. Nowadays, I actually have a pretty good setup of equipment. I have a nice capture card. I have a microphone that I'm using right now. I'm still trying to figure out how to make good audio work on my regular camera since I'm just using my computer's webcam right now. I got some nice studio lights that are still stuck in the Amazon packaging since I can't really find a place to fit them right now. So I definitely got enough to make something like that work, but with like a set like this, it definitely wouldn't work out for me unless I were to like hold the camera like really close to me and just have a white backdrop for now. I don't even plan to stay in this house permanently. This is just a temporary situation. I won't go into details since that's going into my personal life. But anyways, I'm getting a little bit off track. I wanted to do this review show for a long time, and the reason why my uploads were very few and far between throughout the many years was because I wanted this show to be the main thing on this channel. Have this channel be defined by this review show. But I think recently, especially with the Animal Crossing series that I've been doing, as well as the whole pandemic going on, I think I realized something pretty important. It's something that I kind of wish I realized a lot sooner, because if I did, I probably would be having a lot more fun with the YouTube platform right now. I would go on sites like Twitter and see people complaining about the most minute things when it comes to video games or anything in between. And especially during the whole COVID pandemic going on, I was just sort of like, is this really necessary? Is it really necessary to have to form a thesis on games made for entertainment on social media? I'm probably not going to explain this the best, especially considering I'm not really going off of a script or notes or anything. But I find, especially these days, that making videos or tweets just complaining about the most minute things, especially when it comes to video games, is kind of stupid. I'm not saying video games are immune from criticism by any means, but at the same time, I think people are so far up their butts to think that every single thing has to be either black and white, an ultimate masterpiece, or a complete disaster, when really we got into this whole medium because we enjoyed these games for what they are. We weren't trying to look for all these faults. We aren't looking for the absolute perfect experience. We just want to have fun and just enjoy these games for what they are and not for what they're not. I'm not saying we can't talk about how everything can be better by any means. Criticism is definitely great, but I don't really want that to detract from the core experience. So what does this have to do with me, you might ask? Well, I had this mindset for the longest time that every video I made needed to be an absolute masterpiece. It had to have the right script. It had to have the right editing. It had to have the right audio and everything like that. In fact, the only reason I even really made content the past 2 years was as sort of filler, because I wanted to let people know that I was still alive while still doing a video on like a fun topic. I made stuff like the Smash Bros. Ultimate character wish list and the SMG4 tour vlog because those were videos that I felt like would be fun to make, while also not really being anything that had to be crafted like an absolute gem. It's why 2018 and 2019 has been completely sparse in content, especially since I changed my channel name, because I really want to go down this path and just go ham on just making this big banger review content. But going back to the whole gaming Twitter thing, these days I just kind of find it more enjoyable to just enjoy these games and everything else for what they are, rather than having to go and deep dive into every single little detail, trying to take apart every little thing to determine its worth. Not that there's anything wrong with that, as well, as long as it's well done, but it's just not really the path that I don't really want to go down anymore. On top of that, if I do go down the route of making a video game review show and just labeling it under a specific name like Matthew Smart or something, I feel like that'll only be limiting myself creatively, because if I make that the main thing on the channel, sure, it would be interesting for a while, but like if I were to get tired of it, or I just don't like the format anymore, what would I do then? People subscribed to me for this specific kind of content. If I were to stop, it would feel like a disservice. You know what I mean? And on top of all of this, despite not having the most professional setup or the best ideas for videos or like the best way to structure them or anything, what I didn't really realize was that I already had the most important thing that I needed to make YouTube videos in the first place. And that is simply a voice that I wanted to be heard. The reason I started making YouTube videos all the way back in 2010 was because I wanted to get my name out there. I wanted to show people cool video games and just have fun making videos on a platform that I loved. And I want to try to recapture that feeling again. Now, does this mean I'm not going to make video game reviews at all? No. I still think it would be cool to make some videos about games that I really love, talk about why I love them. I might even do a few retrospectives about a few other series that I love. I'm thinking about like Kirby is one that I would definitely love to do one day. And Kingdom Hearts is another one. But I don't really want that to be the only priority on this channel. In fact, I actually have a game that I got a review copy of nearly 2 years ago that I haven't reviewed, and I feel bad for doing it, and I think now that I really don't care anymore, I'm gonna finally do it this year. So this is partially the reason why I've been uploading a lot more content recently, because I just want to have fun on this platform again and not worry about the little details like, oh, I need to take like the next 2 or 3 weeks to make this absolutely perfect game review that 90 other people are doing. That Animal Crossing New Horizons series I've been doing is some of the most fun I've had making YouTube videos in a really long time, despite not getting as many views as I would hope for, which is understandable since my channel isn't really known for gameplay content. I've still had a lot of fun doing it, and if you haven't checked it out and you're interested in Animal Crossing, I'd recommend it. I've done 13 episodes so far. I don't plan to stop anytime soon, and it's just been like a lot of fun messing around in one of my favorite video game series and sharing the experience with you guys. I've learned from that series that I should just have fun making content on this platform, regardless if it's not in a specific formula. It's why I've been seeing more out there content from me, like the Idiot's Guide to Social Distancing short film I made for college, or that YouTube poop I made about Scott the Woz. You're probably going to be seeing a lot more content like that in the future, as I want to get back into doing more comedy stuff, since that's something I really love doing and want to pursue more of. And you'll continue to see stuff like Nintendo discussion videos more and more down the line, and as well as just stuff about gaming as a whole. And yeah, I'll do a review here and there, but I'm not gonna have any sort of core series with this channel anymore. From now on, this channel is just gonna be whatever the heck I want it to be. And hey, we'll see if something sticks one day. I don't know. And hey, maybe this will be the actual path that will lead to channel success. Maybe I will reach my dream goal of 100,000 subscribers someday. Maybe I'll never reach 10,000. But regardless of where I end up in the future, in the years ahead, I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me, whether you've only subscribed to me recently or have been watching my content for years on end, and I know a lot of you out there have. Just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for sticking with me, and I hope this new direction I'm taking with the channel will ultimately result in me being happier with what I'm doing and result in just more fun on YouTube overall. Because really, all this means is just more content for you guys to enjoy and more content that I have fun making. regardless if I even get paid or not for it. It's just enjoyable to put my name out there and just put fun videos into the world. So yeah, you can expect me to be a lot more laid back with my content, a bit more casual, a bit more free form. I'm still definitely going to do some scripted stuff every now and then, but I'm okay with releasing content more frequently as long as I'm just enjoying myself, think what I'm doing is good, and just makes people smile or laugh or brings them up. That's kind of my main goal here, and I kind of need to thank Animal Crossing for reminding me of that. I want to channel the vibe I had in 2013 and 2014 when I didn't care what I was making as long as I had fun. That's really what matters. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point, but I did want to mention one more big thing, and that is the fact that this month is actually my 10-year anniversary of making YouTube videos. And I know for a fact that none of you would know that, because I've kept it all pretty secretive, but I had a channel as far back as 2010 when I was making content, and I want to make a very special video going over the entire history of my channel this month. I'm not going to specifically say what I'm going to be doing in the video, but what I will say is that I am going to be doing a little Q&A segment near the end of the video, answering any of your guys' questions about me, and just having some fun. You get to know me a little bit more. So if you have any sort of questions for me, whether it be about myself, my YouTube channel, any gaming or anything like that, then leave them in the comment section below and I will answer them in that 10-year anniversary video. The only thing I ask is that you refrain from asking me any history related questions like, oh, what was your first channel's name, or what did you do, or who are your inspirations, because odds are I'm probably going to answer that in my history segment in the video. If you want to ask me stuff about advice on YouTube or who I watch nowadays, that's perfectly fine. I'm just asking that you refrain from stuff that helped build my channel up to what it is today. I also ask that you refrain from asking me anything that could be considered inappropriate or offensive. I'll set the bar to PG. I don't want anything that's too personal or anything like that, anything naughty, because I know some of you are out there. So yeah, anything else is fair game, whether it be gamer related or just advice or just other stuff about me that you're curious to know, and just leave in the comments below. I will probably answer it in that 10-year video. You can submit questions until June 24th. I will set a maximum limit of 5 questions per person, since I don't really think I'm going to get a lot of questions. But hey, so yeah, if you're interested in being in my 10-year anniversary video somehow, that is the way to do it. So anyways, that's all I pretty much want to say with this update. This has been a wild ride on YouTube over the past 10 years. And around that second half is when I start to fall off a bit, but I want to recapture the fun, the magic, and the joy I had when I started making content all the way back when. And that's what I'm going to try to do now. So with that being said, I'm done here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you sticking with me. I hope that you will continue to join me in the months and years ahead as I will continue to make YouTube videos that I'm happy with until YouTube either forces me to shut my channel down, I drop dead tomorrow, or I'm just flat out sick of it. Whatever comes first. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video, hopefully. Take care of yourselves, stay safe out there, and have an awesome day. Bye-bye.